Hello and welcome to the market review for October 2014. We're coming to you today from the Fleece here in Witney, and we last week received nomination for Gastropub of the Year, so very well done to the Fleece. So what's happened in the property market in October 2014? Well, I think, as everyone knows, the supply of property has been restricted over the past few months, and that's really continued throughout August, September and October. And at the same time now, buyers are seeking out value at every opportunity, and they're less willing to pay over the top for the properties of their choice. As you'd imagine, as an estate agent, we do track data that relates to the availability of property within the marketplace. And what we found at the end of October is the total number of properties available at this month was 327 in Witney itself, with a further 55 in the close villages. This gives a total available property stock of 382. This compares with a high this year of 545 properties. But if you compare the same period time last year, where there were 745 properties available, you can see the total number of properties to the market at the moment is reducing. Two other sets of numbers that we track that we think are important. Firstly, we track the number of weeks of properties available on the internet before the status changes from for sale to sold. In June this year, we were running about 9 to 10 weeks before a property was changed to sold. In July and August, that changed to 12 weeks, and in October, properties were available for 14 weeks before they actually went from for sale to sold. So the length of time properties are taking to sell is increasing. The second set of data we track is what we call the sold rate, and that looks at the total number of properties that are under offer in comparison with the stock that's available today. And that's changed from a rate in July of 62% to August of 58%, and in October this year that dropped to 48%. When you compare that with October last year, where the rate was 82%, that is quite some change. As you'd imagine, this has now started to filter through to prices, and for the first time in nearly 2 years, the property price index that we manage has failed to show any increase in prices for the last month. Given the fact that we've had a rise of some 7 to 10% over the last year in the Witney area, that's probably not a bad thing. Maybe the market is just taking a bit of a breather. The Council for Mortgage Lenders stated that last month, for the second month on the trot, the number of mortgages granted for home purchases has reduced, whilst the number of mortgages for remortgages has increased. Maybe some people have decided to take advantage of the current low rates and are staying put for a little longer. So, is it all doom and gloom out there? No, it most certainly isn't. We took a property to the market on the Burford Road at $285,000 on Thursday the 30th of October and agreed a sale at the full price on that following Saturday. So what's the message here then? Well, the message is that there are definitely still buyers out there that are prepared to pay the price if they see value in that property. And how do we get the best price for our clients in this more moderate market? Well, we concentrate on what we call the 4 Ps. The first P, as you'd imagine, is your price. It's very important that you get a competitive asking price today, very close to the price you're hoping to achieve, but be careful you don't undersell. When looking for comparable evidence, make sure you look at the prices that property actually sold for and not the prices that people were asking. The second is presentation. With properties available a little longer these days than they were perhaps a few months ago, it's very important that we look at 2 areas of presentation. Firstly, how are you presenting your home? Sarah Beanie runs a television programme where she mentions present for profit, and that's what we're talking about. Make sure your home looks at its best. Secondly, is your agent presenting your property to the marketplace in the very best of lights? And that's a very important factor in today's market. And the third P is publicity. There's no point in having the greatest home for sale on the street if people don't know it's available. So ensure your property is on all the internet sites and not just the main 1 or 2. And make sure your agent is upgrading it to premium display so that it really stands out. Get an advert or 2 in the Oxford Times, because it's not all about the internet. And finally, the agents should have a strong database of potential buyers that they can market your property to. Make sure it's being pushed at every single opportunity. And finally, P is for passion. You need to get passionate about finding a buyer for your property, and don't go into this half-heartedly. If you don't get passionate about finding a buyer, you might be sending the wrong message to your agent, who in turn may well then pass the wrong message on to the buyers. You need to be passionate about selling your property and finding a buyer, and that will really help. Well, there you go, October's market in a nutshell, with a little bit of advice on how to get the best price in today's market. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next month.